All right, Coach Carrington, here we are, back for another year.
Yep.
And you had quite the off season.
Yes.
What,
it was.
you were everywhere.
I was everywhere. It was intense. We started with freestyle. We went on the road with freestyle. We opted not to go to Fargo because we wanted to focus on the beach wrestling thing, which I talked to you about. That was a big hit. We went to Beach Nationals in Jacksonville in, I want to say that was beginning of May or April. We had a lot of success there. I think I took like 10 girls down to Beach Nationals. Most of them qualified to wrestle internationally. I only was able to get a few to go on that international circuit with us. But I think we took 2 Ohio girls to Romania, which is huge. We've never taken any girls to the World Beach Series, so that was our big focus this off season.
So tell us about Romania. First of all, you had quite a time getting there, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
The international travel thing, the PCR testing, it's kind of next level. And what you deal with is like, so the Romanian Federation was hosting the tournament. They're getting all their news direct from their government, and they're having to like translate that to us. So you got to figure it has to go through the government, the Romanian Wrestling Federation, then to USA Wrestling, then to us. And there was just, I guess I wasn't really sure on the PCR testing, and I made like a 2-hour error of the PCR test, and that cost us a day and a half of travel time. So we didn't land and get in until like 10 p.m. the night before weigh-ins, the night before competition.
Wow.
So it was just hit the ground running, you know, and that we dealt with that a little bit. The first day there was cold. It was like a high of 56 degrees. So we wrestled. We were like warming up in hoodies and winter jackets and pulling all that off to wrestle. So that added a whole nother level to that. But it was an awesome experience. International travel is awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So what's it like wrestling in Romania? I mean, were they gracious hosts? Were they, was everybody all like? What's it like?
So,
what's the atmosphere like?
We flew into Bucharest, and then we had to drive like close to 3 hours to the coast. Flying into Bucharest was interesting. That's a huge city, huge international city with a lot of people. Once we got out of Bucharest, everything was pretty normal. Traveling to the coast was like driving on the Autobahn, so that was hilarious. But the local people loved us. They loved that they were the Romanian country was hosting, an international wrestling tournament. So it was awesome. They were very gracious. I know that our administration, like our leaders that were there, they treated them wonderfully. I was kind of hands-on with the athletes, so I didn't get a lot of downtime. But they were awesome. Everyone from all the other countries. There was like Azerbaijan. Let's see, what was the other one? Another big country. Italy was there. Greece was there. They were awesome. They were so hospitable. We were all trying to talk to each other and mingle and get to know each other. Lots of smiles and laughter.
So now, you've did the beach wrestling thing, and now you're working for USA Wrestling Ohio, right?
Yes.
As the beach director. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit more about what that role means.
Okay. Well, basically, I'm looking in the future. We found out this summer that UWW wants beach wrestling, sand sports to really be pushed, and we're working towards a goal of that being in the Olympics, 2028 LA Olympics. In order to do that, we have to develop cadets and juniors. So what I'm going to do with Ohio is try to develop our cadets and juniors as best as possible, because like you said, some of these states have directors and maybe they're just not real involved, or it's just kind of on the back burner. I want to bring it to the front burner and really get it rolling, because the reality is with girls, freestyle is booming. It is absolutely huge right now. Everyone is doing folk style, is going to freestyle, and Greco and beach are the next thing on that list. So I'm really hoping we can get some Greco people and working with our beach people and really build that, because we only really have like North Carolina, South Carolina, some of those coastal states are working for beach wrestling. We have to develop in the Midwest. We can't just stay stagnant. So we really have to grow Greco and beach to hang with the rest of the world. Because the reality is they're beating us in Europe on Greco. They're not beating us on freestyle and folk style. It's all Greco. It's all upper body. It's all hand control, hand fighting. So that's really the only place that we're losing internationally is the hand fight. And so that's my goal with Ohio, is I want to develop Greco and beach as much as I can to get the opportunity in our home state. So
if a wrestler's interested in doing beach and Greco, like you said, but how do they contact you? How do they get aware of what is being offered at the beach level even?
Well, hopefully I'll be able to get some more of that out into the Ohio news. I know that right now they're just now getting my name out there. Mm-hmm. My name will be popping up on the website here soon with all my contact information. Other than that, though, I'm going to be hosting. I'm trying to work with a place in Cincinnati Cincinnati, maybe even looking to Columbus at indoor volleyball court where we can practice all winter. So I'm going to try to do like 3 or 4 sessions this winter to get kids involved and just get them off the mat. Because the reality is wrestling in the sand is so much more fun than on the mat. Usually it's like warm and fun, so that's my goal. Is just get some winter clinics going so that we can introduce the kids to beach. Hopefully get some Greco guys working with me on the hand fight. And go from there. That's my initial goal, is to just get some clinics going and introduce the sport to the kids in Ohio that have not experienced it yet.
Okay, so you're a huge advocate of female wrestling, girls wrestling in the state of Ohio. You kind of got the, the western part of the state on lockdown. Yeah. You're growing the sport out there. You went to Colorado Springs and hung out with some Olympians. Yeah. Tell us about what you were doing there.
Oh, that was wild. It was the Wrestle Like a Girl event, and it was like the kickoff for their big fundraiser. And what Sally Roberts is trying to do is raise $300,000 to split up amongst all the states that still need our help. And unfortunately, it's some of the powerhouse states, and they need the most help. Iowa, Pennsylvania, Ohio, what's the other one? Indiana. We just really need a lot of focus there. And so that's her big thing. She brought in some of these powerhouses. We had Adeline Gray, Lauren Louise, Julia Salata, Jenna Berker. Gosh, there were so many big names there. I can't even think of all of them, but it was awesome. It was incredible just being able to meet all those people, and they're super proud of what we're doing in Ohio. They're super proud of Ohio women's wrestling. So just being out there in the Springs and experiencing that for the first time was incredible. And I woke up the next morning and there was the directors meeting for the state of Ohio, and I found out I was nominated for the beach wrestling director. So that whole weekend I was just on cloud 9, just really excited about their growth. I got to talk to Terry Steiner, and he's on board with growing Greco and beach wrestling. Everyone's just on board with getting the Greco piece. That'll be the next thing. Right now it's freestyle, Greco's it. So if we want to get on board, they know that that's where the trends are going. So they're really supportive of me and what we're doing.
And you also had a coaches, National Wrestling Coaches Association.
Yep.
You were able to go to that, right? Hone your skills there, rub elbows with all kinds of coaches and learn some things, right?
Yep. So actually during the COVID year, I received that grant, but I waited until this summer to really use it because our school was so shut down and everything. So this year I went to Baltimore for a few days. I was surrounded by like probably 15 to 20 women's college coaches. And I was there with like Randy Miller, Cliff Couchard, Lee Miracle, Lee James, all sorts of big people, Charlotte Fowler, just a lot of heavy hitters in women's wrestling. And thankfully they're willing to pour their energy into somebody like me that just wants to bridge the gap. And since then I've kind of taken on a role of like being a recruiting specialist in the area because I have so many relationships with these college coaches. So just kind of getting my name out there and helping these girls make these connections, because the reality is last April or February when we were at the Girls State Tournament, so many of those seniors didn't know that they had opportunity at the next level.
Right.
Like maybe they have a boys head coach that's just they're on the boys team.
Right.
Well, they're not going to be doing that hands-on work trying to get them into the next level. So I've been doing a lot of that since I went to the NWCA Leadership Academy. That's really helped my like recruiting and developing all that. We've been able, I got a girl out in California now wrestling because of my experience at the Leadership Academy. So just lots of stuff like that I'm able to put together and help local girls.
So there are some coaches here at Athena Nationals. This is where we're staying right now. Some coaches here doing some recruiting. I noticed you started something on a Facebook, right?
Yep.
So in order to get maybe a database or pictures or just start of something, tell us a little bit about what a parent of a wrestler, female wrestler in Ohio could do with the Facebook.
Okay, so recently I realized there was a need. I am involved with a lot online with the boys side too, because I also coach boys high school wrestling, and I'm in a lot of like recruiting groups and tools that help us bridge the gap between coach and athlete. And there's a lot of groups on Facebook for girls, but not like bridging that gap between coach and parent athlete. So I just woke up one day and I said, if it's not me, who's it going to be?
Yeah.
And I spent, an hour getting together some stuff, some numbers, just some information. I already knew a lot, but I put it all together and I started that group, and within a few days we had quite a few hundred members. I think we're up to almost 500 within a week or two. So what that's doing is that's allowing parents to and put their daughter's information, post their graduating class, their contact information, and I've got, I think, around like 50 or 60 coaches in there right now, college coaches.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of interaction with coaches.
A lot of interaction.
Yeah, they're active.
Coaches are checking it every day. Coaches are looking for athletes every day, and every single week we have a new program pop out. Every week we have a new program. So all those coaches need 30 to 40 girls. So we have, I'm not doing the math right now, we have 105 programs. Every roster needs to have 30 to 40 girls on it. I mean, do the math. There's empty spots for every girl that wants a spot.
Right.
So some of them just don't know about the information and the resources. So the more I can plug that group, it's called Women's Wrestling Recruiting 101.
Okay.
The more people that go on there, the more we get the word out. It's just an awesome tool to bridge the gap and help people realize like where their comfort zone is at the college level, what they really want out of college. Some of these girls are undecided and they don't know which colleges offer certain programs. So they can go on there and ask who offers zookeeping, you know what I mean?
Right.
Whatever they want. And they can find out firsthand from college coaches. Instead of having to go out there and dig through the list of 100 campuses, they can get on there and ask the coaches themselves. So,
well, we've seen product out here today. We've seen the wrestling, your love for the wrestling sport, but there's so much work that goes into it. So thank you for all the work that you're doing. It is paying dividends out there. And I know it's so exciting to hear about these opportunities. Girls that I know that were little when I knew them, they're now wrestling at the college level. It's so exciting just to be able to, change their life even. So good job. Thanks for all that you do. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Rob. Have a good one.